the moon is sinking, and we got a lot of time. There's nothing left to do but stay here. We don't need no proof to stay here. Right inside the box, so stay here. Burning house will fall, so stay here. There's nothing left to do but stay here.
All right, so that was Stay Here by Noah Guy and Amaria, I believe. If that's how you say it. I am going to keep the theme of just putting you guys on to music that I listen to, which is such a switch up because literally last week I played Bobby Brown and today I'm playing something super modern R&B. But yes, I hope you like that. Noah Guy, super dope. If you are into slow jams and R&B, definitely give him a listen. But I am checking in to our second on the air, and I have had quite the weekend. I was trying to think of what I wanted this particular episode to be about. And I think the biggest thing for me was having compassion for yourself. And I, I think this is a weird thing, but okay, so something that I've really been working on, like truly trying to work with, is paying attention to my intuition and really paying attention to the things that I want to do and the things I don't want to do and the things that feel safe to me and the things that don't feel safe to me. Because I think that we often neglect what our bodies are telling us, what our intuition is telling us. And I really believe that if you just pay attention to that little voice inside of you, it is literally going to lead you to the exact place that you want to be. And you may not even know what that place looks like, because I sure as hell have no fucking idea what that place looks like. But I am just following this feeling. And so, but with this, I think that, obviously it takes time to repair or strengthen this relationship that you have with your intuition. And so there are times, obviously, that I go against my intuition. And most of the time, I know exactly when those times are. And I hate to put it this way, but it feels like whenever I go against my intuition, I have to suffer some sort of consequences, or I feel like I'm being punished. And I'm trying not to put it in those terms because it does feel very harsh, because it's almost like reprimanding yourself for making mistakes. But I'm trying to show myself a little bit more compassion. And so, what I mean by that is that, okay, for context, I do not really drink a lot. I used to be a big time partier in my 20s. I drank, I did drugs, for I didn't do like I mean I smoked weed for a little bit, if that even counts. But and then it got to the point where it no longer was feeling good to me, and I was like feeling obviously more depressed and more anxious every time I would partake in substances. So I actually stopped, and I went cold turkey for, I want to say, about a good 2 years where I didn't drink or didn't smoke or anything. And so, but when I started traveling again, I would partake in like having a glass of wine. So I don't really drink that much. I would probably say I go out drinking maybe less than 5 times a year. And so, um, this past Friday, I got absolutely fucking shithoused, to put it fucking lightly. Um, Long story short, there was a bottle of tequila, and look, a bitch loves tequila. I just can't help it. I just love tequila. And so, yeah, I got super wasted. And the next day, I felt terrible. I ended up vomiting that night, was a hot mess. And Saturday, I felt terrible. And really, Saturday, and actually now looking back, now that it's Sunday, I'm looking back and I am actually kind of proud of myself because it was a very big mental battle with me yesterday, because there was a part of me that was so upset with myself for getting that drunk and doing that. But then there was also this part of me that was like really trying to enforce being compassionate with myself, because it's like I don't really get crazy. And to be honest, I don't really let loose a lot. I'm pretty disciplined in like my routines, my body, what I eat. I'm pretty in control of myself. So to let loose for one night, I think that when I was feeling like shit, and I was, of course, feeling pretty anxious the next day, but here's what I will not, not will not, I will admit is that I actually, I don't want to say that I wasn't embarrassed, but I think like in the past, I would have just like completely shit on myself for being out of control and like losing some sort of composure. But I actually really wasn't worried about that. I was more worried about me being angry at myself for not feeling good and knowing that like my stomach felt terrible. I was super anxious all day, and like it was like there's a part of me that was like, well, this is your fault. You did this to yourself, and you knew better, because to be honest, when we went out on Friday, I was actually looking at the mocktails. And I should have paid attention to that, but I didn't, right? And so Saturday was kind of this mental battle of just trying to fight the feelings of being mad at yourself for maybe not choosing the best thing for you, and being more compassionate with that, with the fact that it's okay for me to let loose every now and then. And maybe I shouldn't have gotten super wasted. Thank God I was with friends that I absolutely trust. I mean, I don't think that I would have gotten that fucked up had I not been with friends that I absolutely trust. But I think that I've also been super on edge, not like super on edge lately, but I just needed a night out. A bitch needed a night out, okay? Let her live. So, I think that is like one thing I am kind of proud of myself of, is trying to reframe that thinking, because I think that I would have just, had I not tried to fight it most of the day, I would have just probably felt really terrible. But I was really trying to just be like, it's okay. It's okay that you chose to let loose and have fun, and you were with people you felt safe with. You got home safely. You had a good time up until it wasn't a good time. And for next time. Because, like, to be honest, I don't really get crazy like that. It's really once in a blue moon, maybe once a year. I get a little out of hand, and I think that's a pretty good track record. Okay, so showing myself compassion, and then what was really the icing on top, I think, is that today I did things, I chose differently, and I chose more appropriately, and I had such a good time. So we ended up seeing one of my friends who was DJing, went to a vinyl night, which we also went to a vinyl night on Friday. but obviously that night ended up getting super fucked up. But tonight, it was way more calm. We just ate some food. I stuck to drinking water and we hung out and just vibed out to music. And then I decided to go social dancing. So I have been learning salsa, bachata, and urban kizomba for about the last year or so. Well, salsa I've dabbled in for a couple years now. But I will say that I am not much of a social dancer. I don't know. I can go on about this topic, but basically what it boils down to is like I just don't feel comfortable all the time like dancing with people I don't really know. And I know that's like something I need to work on, but I'm not going to like force myself to feel comfortable. Like, I'm just like I just have to ease into it and go at my own pace with it. So I decided to go social dancing. And I guess I haven't really gone to socials in a minute. I don't go as often anymore, but it felt really good to just move my body and dance and just have fun and also reconnect with like friends that I hadn't seen in a minute. So I felt like tonight was a lot better. And it was a reinforcement of the good decisions that I made today, but also that it's okay if you slip up every once in a while. And, life is what it is, and you make bad decisions sometimes. And that's just a fucking part of life, and it's okay. And I feel like I just get so critical on myself when it gets to those types of things where I'm like, I know I should have chose something else. And then I start to like fucking haze myself for making that bad decision. And I just want to get out of that. Like, I want to be aware that, yes, there are probably going to be repercussions for making certain decisions, but at the end of the day, I can survive them. And it's okay to just kind of like let loose and not be so in the lines all the time. So yeah, I think that's like what I really wanted to talk about. I think that this is probably not a super long one, but that is all I have for this weekend on just a little think piece for now. But, anyways, I hope that everyone had a good weekend. I hope everyone has a great new moon in Gemini, I believe. And I will check in with you next Sunday.